I'll just introduce myself. Hi, I'm Aavrutti Sharma. I am from Mumbai. I am an advertising professional. I specialize in digital advertising. So digital, I work a lot with Gen Z. So I'll just make it clear, I'm not Gen Z. I am 29, so I missed the Gen Z train by 2 years. But I've worked enough with them to know how they work. And I have changed how I work because of working with Gen Z. And I'm a big fan of that generation, and I'll come to that as now why I'm that big a fan. So what is Gen Z? Let's just get that. Like, they have a digital assistant before you can have a desk assistant for you, and that says a lot. This generation thrives on internet, it thrives on digital, and their connections are also digital. Which brings us to how does Gen Z integrate into a workspace? When we talk about workspace, especially before COVID, it was all informal, it was all in person. This generation started working with virtual assistants. They only know what is Zoom calls, they only know what it is to talk to someone through a screen. They do not know, or they've not experienced for a long time in their careers what it is to meet people and how does the formal structure work. So when we say Gen Z is not about the formal structure, or Gen Z doesn't know how to work in a workspace, it is also from where they're coming from. And as a generation, as a millennial, I have seen both sides, where I have worked with people in person and I worked virtually. And what I believe is it doesn't really matter where you work. If you get your work done is what matters, and that is what Gen Z strives. Flexibility is the biggest thing for them. Working from anywhere, a 9 to 5 can be done in a 9 to 12, and I think that is wonderful. And that sometimes makes the older generations like mine or the elder generation before me cringe, if I can use a Gen Z word, because that is not how things have been. But the whole thing of this is how it is being done, or this is how I have been trained to do, is not what Gen Z believes in. They're paving paths for a future that is sustainable, and they are big advocates of mental health and flexibility. This brings me to the next point which I want to make, is how can we work with them in collaboration? Because let's be honest, this is the future generation. They are going to take the torch away from us, and they are going to lead the country or the nations. So we've got to loosen up a little bit, because Gen Z is not about formal conversation. It's more about informal chats, like something like this, what we're having right now, more about conversations. They love to collaborate with people. So giving them authority or telling them to do something a certain way which they don't believe in, they wouldn't do. And that doesn't work with that generation. So I have learned it a very hard way, how to work with this generation. You build friends with them, and you do not ask them for, say, you do not ask them to give you respect, you earn their respect, because they challenge everything you do. So if hierarchy for them doesn't mean anything, as long as you can converse with them and teach